Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back with Peak and Aaron. Only this time we are not doing live commentary. But we're back in the frickin' Balti, guys. I know it's been a long time. But I hope you guys are going to enjoy this as much as I did. This is one of those games that just was a really fun game all the way around. It was up for grabs right up till the end of the game, basically. So it's just one of those games, you know what I'm saying? Some good teamwork by me, Peak, and Aaron. Some helpful teammates that aren't just getting obliterated. Like, this was a good team effort all the way around. So yeah, we're gonna get up here. We're gonna get into it. Now, you guys know I love the Balti. It is no secret. I am willing to put the Balti into pretty much any situation, with the exception of knowing that I'm going to get obliterated by 16-inch guns. Those I generally tend to stay away from. But everything else, I'll go whole ham and attack. Like, I am not scared at all. Now, initially you see me switch over to HE. And that's because I know their destroyer's here. I'm located. And now I'm spotted. Sorry about that, I had to yawn. So I'm waiting until I close the distance a little bit. I'm shooting at the Odin with some HE, hoping to set a fire. You can see I actually missed him completely because I'm a doofus. It's not the Balti's fault. If you're missing shells in the Balti, it's your fault, 100%. But that time we get 2 shatters and a fire, and we're going to see if we can't set another fire on them. A lot of people tend to run the, you can see I'm running my sonar as well, and that allows me to pick up the torps from the Fletcher to let my teammates know that they're coming. Now, unfortunately, Odin gets away without getting another fire, or at least not our fire anyway. Somebody's got a permanent fire on him. I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb here and say it was probably Aaron. Now, I procced my my radar here, hoping to get a good chance to shoot the destroyer. Clearly, it's not going to happen. So we go over here and start focusing the Suja. Now, this Suja is not a bright individual. This guy was begging for it, and we're going to give it to him. The only thing stopping me from going whole ham on this guy is the fact that he's got backup, and there's a battleship shooting at him. So I can't really pay attention to that. I'm going to have to break the engagement here, but you can see I'm just tearing him apart. He's got no chance against the Balti. None whatsoever. But he's not alone. And you can see I'm trying to get this freaking base capped. We've got our destroyer here in the base with us. And you can see I'm trying to make sure that I stay in the base, get this base capped before I go leaving the base. Got very, very fortunate there to not get hit. I'm not sure exactly who took a shot. I'm assuming it was the other battleship. But I know that the enemy battleships that are flanking out wide are coming back. So we get our first assisted capture, and we are going to start kiting away. We know these guys are coming. They've made it painfully obvious what they are going to do. So we're just going to go ahead and start kiting away. Remember that the Balti has 27 millimeters of bow and stern plating. Though the stern is kind of flat, so you don't want to be taking rounds there anyway, because it won't matter if they can overmatch it or not. They'll probably just punch right through it anyway. But we've got the Suji over there. Our Fletcher kind of puts himself into no man's land here. He shouldn't have stuck around. He knew that he was going to get pushed. And by staying close, he's actually just throwing his ship away. So, Fletcher, not the best play in the world. Could have done better. But we're not out here to talk about somebody else goofing up. We know that we can't take on 2 torpedo battleships head-to-head like we can a Bismarck. So we start kiting away. Now, kiting away in the Balti isn't my forte. And we are actually going to get punched here, but we're going to do some significant damage. You can see when I do get shots to go where I need them to, this thing slaps hard. hitting for 10k a salvo plus. Like, the Balti does not mess around. Right there, 9,900 damage as he torps our Fletcher. But you can see we're going to be able to quickly remove a lot of the hit points off of the Tirpitz and the Odin here. I'm focusing the Tirpitz first because he's the one that's come out first. And he's honestly the bigger threat of the two. Odin's littler guns, not particularly worried about. But this Tirpitz is actually going to catch me here. Being a little too cocky, staying a little too broad. 14,000 damage salvo right there. Now there you can see Tirpitz smashed me. And then of course Odin is firing HE at me and the Suja is firing HE at me. I'm on damage con, hitting for another 10,000 damage on this Tirpitz right now. And then of course the Suja gets another fire on me. And I believe he gets a second perma-fire on me. Which is definitely not preferable. But you can see that the majority of the damage is inconsequential. We do have heals, so I'm not too worried about the fires, as long as I'm not getting openly slapped like I did a minute ago, where I lost half my hit points. Now, with Tirpitz backing off, I'm going to go ahead and start trying to focus down the Odin. Now, it's at this point that Peak and Aaron have made the decision to come back to try to help me, because at this point we're losing 3 caps to none. Like, we're getting our butts handed to us in this match. But with the help of Peak and Aaron and Balti being able to do what it does, which is turn in and start bow tanking, that's when we're going to be able to get some more work done. Now, we've already had a solid game. We're at 70,000 damage. We're not exactly out here slouching. And we are going to be slapping this Odin every chance we get, every time we reload. Another 5,000 damage off him. And again, it comes down to, like, the Balti's so accurate that, like, if you're missing shots, it is your fault. Like, there's not really any dispersion to be had here. So knowing where you can and can't hit on ships to get good damage is huge. And at this range is kind of like the oddball range. I want to be a little bit closer to get those shots through the side armor, or a little further away to get that plunging fire, because the Balti's plunging fire is unbelievable. Now, Odin is out there in the middle of getting punched by Aaron and Peak now. I'm now focusing the Tirpitz again, trying to get rid of this Tirpitz's hit points. And you can see, I think I get the rear turret off here on the Odin, trying to finish him off, but I think he goes down right as we look that direction. He was on fire. But now it's just the Tirpitz over here. I am not afraid of him at all. Other than his torpedoes, I am definitely not afraid. And it's funny that I mentioned that he has torpedoes, because he actually does use them. And he gets a couple penetrations here while I was over-angled getting the rear guns involved. But again, we're at 105,000 damage. We're going to keep punching this man, and every chance we get. And we get another 3k off of him. Getting a lot of overpins shooting into the superstructure of the Tirpitz, unfortunately. And speaking of Tirpitz torpedoes, there they are. Tirpitz goes down. We still have the Suja out here, long range. You can see him firing from behind the mountain over there. But next thing on the priority list, get this base cap. We're at 107,000 damage. Still got some things to shoot at, but number one priority at this point, get this base cap so we can start getting the points swinging in our favor. Our teammates are working on Bravo. They've done a pretty good job of holding them, not getting as many points because they've been contesting Bravo for this entire time. So now that I'm in here, I'm going to be able to not only contest their points, but I'm also going to be able to start capturing this base. Now the Suja over here, once again, decides that he thinks that he can take on a Balti in a Suja. And I hate to tell any Suja player or any Mogami player or any other cruiser player, you're not going to win a gunfight with a Balti. You're just not. First salvo out, I end up aiming a little too far to the rear. But, you know, I do adjust my aim. And even though I haven't been in the Balti a whole lot for a long time, that was a much better salvo. As we double Citadel him and get 7 penetrations out of 9 shells to finish him off. And that's huge.